What is up, everyone? And welcome back to the only show where the chaos is currency and the leaks are legendary. If you're currently grinding on Pandora, if you're battling the same raid boss for the 700th time, hoping, praying for that perfect anointment to drop, I need you to put that controller down. I need you to step away from the Mayhem console. Because today, we have received a document so comprehensive, so incredibly detailed, and so utterly game-breaking that it demands your full attention. We are talking about the full, extensive, and absolutely sensational internal patch notes for the upcoming Borderlands for Mega Update. This isn't a small fix. This is not a balance tweak. This is a loot system revolution. This is Gearbox taking the complaints of 3 years to frustrations, the burnout, the abandonment of builds and addressing them with a vengeance that only a Vault Hunter could appreciate. This update, internally codenamed the Great Reset, is a promise that Borderlands 4 is serious about its place at the top of the looter-shooter throne. Every single aspect of the endgame is being touched, refined, or outright replaced. And the core focus? Respecting your time. For too long, the endgame has been defined by the loot density catastrophe. We all know it. We kill a boss at Mayhem 10 and the screen explodes with 10 legendaries. It looks amazing. It feels great, but 9 out of 10 times. That loot is useless, a world drop weapon with low damage and an anointment for a class. You aren't playing. It was quantity over quality, and it burned players out faster than a flamethrower on Promethea. The leaked patch notes introduced the revolutionary concept of focused loot pools. This is monumental. Effective immediately, key in-game bosses were talking names like the Ravager, the Titan of Thorsus, and the raid bosses will now have their drop tables heavily curated. The files show that at Mayhem 8 and above, the chance of a purely world drop legendary is drastically reduced, replaced instead by a significantly higher chance for items tied directly to that boss's lore. Or mechanics. Imagine this, you're farming the Ravager, and instead of getting a random shield, a random artifact, and to random SMGs, you are now highly likely to receive one of 3 designated Ravager weapons, plus a high chance dedicated drop for the new Void Coil artifact. This means you can finally target farm the items you need without the soul-crushing redundancy of the previous system. The internal documents suggest this shift is designed to reduce the average player's grind time for a specific item from 12 hours to under 3 hours, a seismic shift in player engagement. But what happens when you finally get the gun, the shield, or the class mod you wanted, but the anointment is trash? A perfect redux sniper rifle with an anointment that says on action skill end. Melee damage is increased by 5%, useless for your gutter build. That gun used to go straight into the trash or the lost loot machine. And the frustration was palpable. The patch notes reveal the single most requested feature in Borderlands history, Anointment Reforging, through a new vendor rumored to be a shadowy Eridium scientist. Named the Shaper, players can now spend a significant amount of Eridium and a new ultra-rare currency, the Chaos Quintessence, to reroll the anointment on any piece of legendary or unique gear. This is the ultimate player empowerment move. It means every perfect stats drop is now a viable end-game item. It transforms Eridium from a decorative currency into an essential end-game resource. The price points are high. Initial reports suggest over 50,000 Eridium per reroll. Plus that precious Chaos Quintessence, but the value is priceless. This one change alone extends the endgame for builders and perfectionists indefinitely, turning the hunt for the perfect base item back into the primary focus. The old Mayhem system was tedious. It was a purely mathematical grind, Mayhem 1 just meant enemies had 10% more health, and Mayhem 10 meant they had 10,000% more health. Boring, the Great Reset patch completely overhauls this with Mayhem Tier Progression. The difficulty is no longer just a flat multiplication of stats. Instead, the Mayhem levels introduce unique, challenging, and often hilarious gameplay modifiers that scale dramatically. Mayhem 6, the Gravity Shift. Enemies are resistant to gravity effects. Vault Hunters, however, experience permanent low gravity, forcing a complete reevaluation of vertical combat and grenade usage. Mayhem 8, Elemental Weakness. Each mob spawn is permanently weak to one random element, e.g. This enemy is 80% weaker to incendiary, but 50% resistant to cryo. This forces players to swap weapons constantly and utilize full inventory diversity. Mayhem 10, the Last Stand. Anytime a Vault Hunter drops to 1 health shield, they instantly go into fight for your life. No second wind until the current area is cleared. This is brutal, unforgiving, and demands perfect execution. Mayhem 11, the new max, the Boss Rush Protocol. Standard badass enemies are now replaced by randomized mini-bosses from previous areas, turning every single encounter into a frantic, high-stakes battle against multiple legendary enemies at once. This variety ensures that farming doesn't just mean more damage, but different strategy, injecting endless replayability into the core loop. The patch notes confirm a massive balancing patch design to dethrone the current rulers and elevate the forgotten classes. The reigning champion, the Gunner, saw surgical nerfs, primarily aimed at a reduction in the Iron Bear Max Infinite fuel duration from certain skill combinations. The intention is to make the mecha powerful, decisive ability, not a permanent turret. However, the max base damage has been buffed by 30% to compensate, ensuring that when you do deploy it, it hits like a freight train. The Siren Vex is the clear beneficiary of this patch. The elemental hazard trees have received colossal boosts, with the Tides of Chaos skill seeing its damage output amplified by over 120%. This signals a move back toward complex status effect builds, rewarding players who truly understand elemental interactions. The Beastmaster gets the most satisfying coal fix. Pet damage now scales directly with the Vault Hunter's highest Mayhem level achieved. No more useless puppies. Your pet companion is finally a viable endgame powerhouse, allowing pet-focused players to fully commit to their identity. This is the fix the community has been begging for since the beginning. The final and most exciting piece of this leak is the introduction of brand new, repeatable endgame content, the Eridium Arenas. These arenas, rumored to be 3 distinct locations named the Obsidian Pit, the Eridium Forge, and the Cartel Vault, are high risk, high reward dungeons that demand a significant Eridium toll to enter, perhaps 100,000 Eridium. What's the reward? These arenas are the only reliable source for the new Chaos Quintessence currency, needed for Anointment Reforging. They also feature a completely unique, dedicated loot pool of Cosmic Tier Legendaries, items that sit a tier above current Legendaries. This creates a perfect loop: farm bosses for base Legendaries, farm Eridium Arenas for Quintessence, and refine your gear into perfection. This patch is not just an update, it is a promise of longevity. It's a fundamental restructuring that respects the time of every player, offers endless build diversity, and injects pure, unadulterated chaos back into the endgame. Get ready, Vault Hunters, because November 6th isn't just a date. It's the day Borderlands 4 truly begins. That is the definitive look at the Borderlands 4 Mega Patch that has officially reset the endgame. Are you stocking up on Eridium for Anointed Reforging? Or are you diving straight into those new Mayhem Tier challenges? Let us know your immediate build plans in the comments. We'll be back tomorrow with a full theory crafting session on the new Siren beta. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our day one coverage. Until then, keep those triggers happy and prepare for the great reset. Peace out!